I'm here at the National Firearms Museum in Fairfax, Virginia with Phil Schreier, Senior Curator of said museum. And Phil, we're here in the Ruger Gallery to do a couple segments, 2, 3 of Curator's Corner. Man, one of my favorite times of the week when I get to sit down with you, sir, and tell me what beautiful treasure you got here for us today.
John, this is something that is so new that I've actually stolen it off the mail cart. It is a brand new Ruger 1022 Boy Scout commemorative that came in today. Its destination was publications to be written up in the magazine, and I saw it and pulled it, and you guys are seeing it before anybody else in the building gets to see it.
Oh, Phil, I love when you do that. Thanks a lot.
It's pretty neat. You know, we talked about the Scout Jamboree in the last month and the fact that this is the 100th anniversary of Scouting. And there is a Benelli out there. I'm sorry, there's a Beretta. There's a Remington 870. And 2 different types of Henry repeating lever actions. And all commemorating the 100th anniversary of Scouting in the National Jamboree. And this is the first Ruger I've seen that does that.
Wow, and it's a Ruger 1022. It's beautiful. And let's talk a little bit, and we talked about this before, but let's reiterate and talk a little bit about the relationship with scouting and shooting sports and the NRA.
Well, the NRA's had a tremendous relationship with Scouting ever since 1911, a year after Scouting was founded. The Marksmanship Merit Badge was added to the roster of the initial merit badges within the first year of Scouting. Today, they are known as rifle shooting and shotgun shooting, and NRA staff provided a tremendous amount of support for the last Jamboree, and continues to do so on a daily basis through marksmanship and instructor training programs.
And we saw both you, Mark, even a bunch of other folks from NRA down there this year at the Jamboree. I mean, boots on the ground, getting it done and teaching some kids who had never even probably held a firearm before and lighting that fire and getting them started in the enjoyment and love of the shooting sports.
Absolutely. Just like, Mark and myself both got started, in the shooting sports through Scouting. And at the Jamboree, they had some great guns that they were using and are now for sale. They can't shoot or didn't shoot .22 caliber rifles at the Jamboree, but this is a wonderful Ruger 1022. We hope to have one like this on display in the museum. Here, engraved into the buttstock is the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, and a beautiful rendering of one of the Norman Rockwell paintings of a Scout uniform, even attributed to Rockwell there. And a few people really know or realize that Norman Rockwell, considered one of the most iconic of all American illustrators and painters, his very first commission was with a magazine called Boy's Life. And that was a publication of the Boy Scouts. It's still in print today. And so from that tiny acorn, a mighty oak grew in the form of one of America's most beloved illustrators and painters. This gun has that wonderful Rockwell scene, the Scout symbol, fleur-de-lis, an eagle here. It says Boy Scouts of America in the checkering up top. If you look at the pistol grip cap here, you'll see all 12 points of the Scout Law have been engraved in the wood, and another Scout symbol here on the back. But what I think is pretty neat is Ruger has assigned a special serial number set, and all these guns begin with the serial number BSA. And move on from there. Wow. And of course, it's the perfect camp gun 22 for for shooting and plinking. It's just every Scout's dream.
And what's going to kill someone is having that. It's so collectible, but that's a great gun to go out, and as you said, a camp gun to go plinking with. You're going to be torn. Maybe you just have to get 2, put one away, and then go out and shoot one.
Rugers are affordable, and 1022 certainly no exception to that. I don't know exactly what the MSRP on this is. Comes with a great box, a nice collectible box you'll want to keep. And yeah, go buy 2 of them and enjoy one and put the other one up for collectibles' sake.
And for those who aren't as familiar with the 1022, just tell us quickly about this firearm, because it is a
It really is, John. It's was introduced by Ruger in 1964. It's a semi-automatic 22 caliber. It fires from a very, at that time, innovative rotary magazine that fits in the stock here. The gun is almost modular in the fact that there are dozens and dozens of aftermarket applications that you can apply to this gun to change its configuration, its whole look, the magazine, the number of rounds it can fire, the adjustable stocks. It's already pre-tapped for scope mounts on the top, so it's one of the most versatile little guns you can get for under $500.
Wow. Well, Phil, thanks for taking time. Let folks know how they can see this beautiful museum here, firearms like this, out here either in person at the NRA, National Firearms Museum, or online.
Well, John, of course, we're open 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 here in Fairfax, Virginia, at the intersection of Route 50 and Route 66. We're available on the web 24/7 at nramuseum.com. And we really invite you to take a look at that website, as it's ever evolving and changing. There'll be something new every time you see it. And of course, the Curator's Corner segments in the archives section of NRA News and on YouTube. So
and a couple other things we've been discussing. We're going to, folks, a couple things that are coming up that we're sitting here in the Ruger Gallery, and behind us we can't give away. It's the Great Hollywood Guns Exhibit, which you got to get out here and see. So that's something to see here, and also to see online on the NRA Museum website. Is we have a new program we've been working on together called On the Road, and we're just about ready to release that. So we'll let everyone know and preview it on NRA News as well. It's you guys out on the road at different venues looking at firearms and doing this and assessing it. It's a really neat little program we're putting together, and we're getting ready to roll that out too.
Oh, that's great. I look forward to seeing that.
Phil Schreier, thanks for being with us here on the Curator's Corner.
And thank you for having us once again.